Hey, what's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTube? We're gonna give y'all a chance to tune in tonight. The missus is getting ready, so she'll be here momentarily. Thank y'all for tuning in, Jocelyn. Thanks for tuning in, 529. And we really appreciate y'all checking us out this evening. Tonight we got a really good topic. Please share it, y'all. We know it's early, but please share this video. I mean, when I say it's early, I'm not talking about the time, but I'm talking about it's early in this live stream. We'll be trying to ask y'all to do that. We want to get as many people as possible on this live stream. Hey, what's up, Stephanie? What's up, Kadria, Bracy? YouTube. What's up, YouTube? Thanks again for tuning in. Tonight's topic, y'all, we're gonna be touching on. What's up, Tanisha? Tonight we're gonna be touching on 5 beliefs that lead to relationship beef. 5 beliefs that lead to relationship beef. Now I got a question that I want to ask y'all as I start this live stream. I want to know, do you all want us to focus on the beliefs that men have and also the beliefs that women have, or do you all want us to break this thing up and maybe tonight do the beliefs that women have and then do the beliefs that men have next week? Let us know. Let us know what your thoughts are in terms of what you want us to do. Do you want us to, again, touch on the beliefs from both genders or just focus on one gender tonight? All right, what's up, Brian, bro? I see you saying both. Rosebuds is saying both as well. Lovely Nana is saying both. 529 both. Okay. All right. Let's see if the missus wants to do that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, Daryl said men. The reason why I'm saying that is we could be on this thing all night, and I'm not trying to do that. It's getting late. Break it up. I would like to hear both sides. Yeah, because the thing that I was thinking is that, I really want to give enough attention, an adequate amount of attention to both genders. And so if we try to squeeze both in, then it might short somebody. But in any event, the missus, she's going to make the decision when she comes over here how she wants to roll. It's either going to be both or we're going to focus on, I say the women tonight. That's what I want to focus on, the women. Hey, y'all, as y'all are coming into the room, let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know where you're coming in from this evening. 5 from both sides. Okay, I don't know if the missus is gonna be feeling that right there, but we're gonna see what we're gonna do. Again, thanks again for, you say what? She like ear hustling over there, saying that she don't know about doing 5 from both sides, but in any event, like I said, we're gonna make it happen. Let us know where you're tuning in from this evening. Chicago, I see we got London over here on YouTube. And we really appreciate the energy that you all give as well. One thing that I do want to know, and I was thinking about this between the last live stream and this one right here, I want to know why you all tune in. I think that it's important to really know why you all tune in. What's the reason that you come back weekly? What's the reason that you, even if you don't come back weekly, what's the reason that you come to our page, to our channel, to really get the energy, the information, the insight that you get? Because you can go. What'd you say, babe? You're right. You're right. Yeah, my wife is saying that y'all may not be coming to get the insight, the information, the education. Y'all might be coming to talk to other people, which is absolutely true. I mean, that's right there, building community. And so again, just let us know why y'all come. I'm curious to know why you come to check out Relationship Thursdays. Okay, I see we got Brandywine, Raleigh, North Carolina, Oklahoma City, Illinois in the house. Okay, lovely Nana says to be enlightened on new and better information on love and great relationship advice. And I appreciate that. Again, it's not only us giving advice, but I think that, in the community itself, you all share some good stuff too, because y'all both give. All right, the comments are coming pretty quickly here. Education into witness Black love. Real down-to-earth advice that my husband and I can relate to. This has helped me so much to see faults within me. Some self-reflection going on here. You guys answer a lot of questions, gives me clarification on things. All right, I'm really appreciating that. I'm really digging the fact that y'all are getting some good stuff to gain tools to do better. Yes.
Hey, y'all.
So, baby, in my brief and short poll, people are saying that.
You did a poll?
Mm-hmm,
What is up with this? Okay.
That they want to do.
This don't look right.
Why don't it look right?
Okay, just keep going. I'm sorry.
You over here? You coming over here just jacking the joint up like as soon as you get over here?
All right, my bad. You don't want the top of your head to be cut off. Okay, let's get started.
All right. So again, y'all. So my name is Ayize Ma'at, and this right here is my delectable, delicious, inviting, cute.
Oh. Well, I like the cute one.
You like the cute one?
Am I still cute?
This is my baby boo right here.
And this right here, this is my protector, my confidant, my boy, my ride or die. This is my sweetie pie, my husband, Ayize Ma'at. And for those who may be joining us for the first time, we come here, we try our best to make it each and every Thursday. I'm about to do that. And each and every Thursday, and we really focus on things that come up in our work with couples and that have come up for us in our own relationship. And we talk about a lot of principles, but we also try to give you concrete things that you can do or you need to stop doing so that you can have the kind of relationship that really does exist. It's not just in the movies. It's not just, stuff that we see on TV or we hear about on the radio. You can really have it. You can really do it. So that's what we do here. I like what Miss Rhea said. She said, not marry, but want knowledge of what it takes to obtain and maintain a healthy future marriage. That's what's up. Hey, Jocelyn, I see you. All right. So let's go ahead.
Let me do something real quick.
Okay, I can't look. No, just give me a second. Wait a second.
What's a second, baby?
Give me a second.
Where's your phone?
I don't know. All right, go ahead. Oh, my bad. Oh, you about to go ahead and get my phone. Yeah. All right. So what we're talking about tonight, y'all, are some things that I think are really important. We both think are important. It's about mindset. It's about how you come to the relationship game. It's about what you are bringing with you in terms of your orientation, in terms of your thinking. And a lot of times what we don't recognize and realize is that what we say we want actually is impossible. What's up, Ronald? Hey, Samantha. All right, Samantha, you like how we introduce each other. That's how you got to do. You got to do that when you do that with your boo. You're like, this is my, when you next time try it. People will look at you a little bit like, what? But you can give a couple of adjectives and y'all will be looking at each other kind of sweet in the face just because you all did that. But hear me out, y'all. This piece is important in terms of mindset. You have some beliefs. We all have some beliefs that we carry with us each and every day that somewhere along the way, as young people, as little kids, young adults, older adults, whatever, at some point in time, we had a seed planted in us that gave us a certain belief. And because of that, much of what we say we want, even though on a conscious level, we really do want it, on an unconscious level, we do everything that we can without realizing it to fight against it. I'm gonna say that again. You say, let me give you an example. You say you want a relationship where communication is flowing and where your boo can feel safe with you and they can talk to you and y'all can share and be vulnerable with each other, where you can really rap to one another in a way like you can't rap to nobody else, that he can come to you and tell you what's going on with him and that she can let her guard down and not think that you're going to be judging and whatever. You say you want that, but your belief system does not support that. So you cannot hold two different kinds of intentions at one time and get the kind of result that you want. What that's called is cognitive dissonance. What that's called is I'm saying one thing, but what's happening internally within me is incongruent with what I say I want. And I want y'all to understand that that's not just like a theory. That's not just kind of like philosophical. It's real. And so tonight we want you to examine the beliefs that you have that do not get you what you say you want. And there are plenty of them, but we're going to highlight 5 this evening. Mm-hmm. Right. And we're going to lift these up for you. And I want you to really think about like, dang, okay, so if that's what I say that I want, then really, it's good talk, but I really need to do some internal work. So Ayize, let's get it started. We're going to move to belief number 1. But before you do that, I want you to make sure you please share the video. Please share it. Please like it. Please something, you know what I'm saying? Share, like, drop a comment. We want the interaction and the engagement. And make sure that if you're a note taker, that you take notes and really focus in on what stands out to you. Because even if you don't understand exactly, like, that's not really me, that's not, but yeah, that's something about what she's saying or what he's saying or what somebody's dropping in a comment is resonating with me, then that means that's what you need to focus in on, and that's what you need to work on.
And let me just lift this up too, y'all. So my wife, she just gave y'all a breakdown about the significance of beliefs and how they inform how you flow. Beliefs inform how you flow. And so just earlier this week, we had to take our young son to the urgent care. Because he had a high temperature and he was diagnosed with pneumonia. But during the time period when
he don't got it after that.
Yeah, during the time period when I was sitting there, the PA, she heard me talking to my wife on the phone as we were waiting for her to give some, additional feedback about what the course of treatment would be and that type of thing. And so what she said is that I'm really digging, how y'all flow. It's uncommon.
She said it like that?
Yeah, she said digging.
Oh.
Yeah, the PA, she was like, physician's assistant, she was like, I'm really digging how y'all flow, the way y'all communicate. And again, my wife, she wasn't there with me. I was talking to her over the phone, but she said, I like the way that y'all interact and y'all team and y'all are talking and flowing and connecting around this particular issue. She said that it's uncommon. And so I said, I appreciate that. So again, I'm not trying to put on for her or anything like that. Really what I'm doing is just doing what I always do on a regular basis, but I'm flowing this way and I'm rolling this way really based off of my beliefs and the importance of our relationship, the significance of my value as a father, and my role to make sure as the man that's in this house that I'm holding it down, not just for my children, but also for my wife as well. And so again, I'm not trying to do anything again to put on for her or for anybody, but more importantly, what I'm doing is just being me. And so when I be me, when I do me, it oozes out and it's evident even when I'm not looking for a pat on the back, looking for an applause. I'm just flowing. And so that's an example of how, like, just your beliefs inform and influence how you flow. So you want to make sure that you're always checking them. And if they're not right, you need to be correcting them. Mm-hmm. Check them and then correct them if they're not right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We'll start with belief number 1. I don't know if you want to. Yeah, I'm gonna let you take it. So go ahead with belief number 1. Again, if you're just joining us, we're looking at and talking about some false beliefs that are not getting you what's the actual title? Not getting you where you want to be. It's keeping your relationship in muck and mire. What is it?
5 beliefs that lead to relationship beefs.
5 beliefs, whatever that is, that lead to relationship beef. All right, number 1.
All right, so my wife, she's actually pointing at something she wants me to do, but I'm going to do something different and I'm going to switch it up. And it's in alignment with this particular beef right here.
So you could have just said that, but you had to tell everybody. She trying to tell me to do one thing, but I'm not going to do it because I'm going to do me.
Going to do it. I'm going to do me.
Press.
I'm going to do me. And so belief number 1. And I asked the question about should we do men or women or should we do both? And so most people were saying both.
Yes, that's what I told you.
But this one is specifically for the women.
Yeah, because you wanted to get some things out tonight.
It's not that I wanted to get some things. I think some things need to be made clear for each gender.
All right.
And so when it comes to the women, I think that it's important. One thing one belief that's informing you correctly in your relationship.
Correctly or incorrectly?
Informing you incorrectly.
Okay.
In your relationship is the belief that it's your responsibility to raise your man. The belief that it's your responsibility to raise your man.
I know where you're coming from with this. I know what inspired this.
You do?
I do.
All of y'all probably already know what it is.
Well, tell them about it, because some people may not. We had to drop the link and find the link, but some people may not be familiar. But I find it interesting because this was a sticking point for you, and I understood both sides. But go ahead.
It was a sticking point. So for those who don't know, there's been a lot of talk in the religious community and probably in the
Black community.
Black community in general about Pastor John Gray and the comments that he made in reference to his wife, Aventer. And his comments really pertain to the fact that he said that she has covered him. She has basically birthed him. And
real quick, John Gray. Yeah, John Is his name right?
Yeah.
John Gray he's a pastor, and they had their own show, him and his wife, on the OWN network.
The OWN network, yeah.
But he was an associate pastor at
what's the
Osteen's,
yeah.
Osteen, Pastor Joel Osteen's church. I think he has his own church now.
Yeah, he does.
And they've got a lot of stuff that they put out on social media. But essentially, he made a comment. Did y'all see this interview? Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
we're gonna try to find it and drop the link. It was a little interview. He was really giving his wife kudos.
Yeah, he was giving his wife kudos. Put it in
proper context.
So he was giving his wife kudos and basically saying that, he's put her through hell. He's really challenged the integrity of the relationship with a number of his actions, and his wife has had to endure a whole lot based off of his actions.
He's still gonna give birth to a man.
And he basically said that throughout the duration of their relationship, she's helped to elevate him, helped to grow him, and essentially helped to push him out by giving birth to him, becoming who he is today.
Thank you, Samantha. That's right. It was on Sister Circle, a show called Sister Circle. Thank you.
Yeah, and so when he made that comment, a lot of the sisters who were sitting around at the Sister Circle was, high-fiving and like, I'm about to run around this room and excited and just like giving kudos, and panties was probably wet and all of that. But no, I mean,
it's run around the room and then that on the back of it.
Because if you have somebody who's a good orator and somebody who can drop some syllables together and basically tell a good story, then oftentimes, especially in the Christian church, you find yourself in a situation where women just, are falling for that, are open to that, and are sometimes, unfortunately, victimized by that.
Yes, Jocelyn, the pastor that bought his wife a Lamborghini.
Yeah, he bought his wife a Lamborghini. Mm-hmm. And so again, I'm lifting this up because he made the statement that my wife, she birthed me. And so, when I say you can't raise a man, that's a belief that a lot of women have, is that when they get into a relationship, they believe that it's their responsibility to change the man. And sometimes women look at their man as an adornment, as like a pair of earrings or a pair of shoes, and that they're going to shift him and make him become something other than what he is, because they're trying to birth a new being. They're trying to give birth to a new person. They're trying to create what it is that they want to create, because it makes them feel good about who they are. And so that's a faulty and erroneous belief that you have, to think that your actions, your influence, your input, especially if you're entering into a relationship, should be for the sole purpose of trying to make this dude be like you want him to be. It ain't your job.
So look, thank you, Rashad. Let me, because I want to make sure we put it out properly, and then we won't stay stuck on this too long. I found what he said, and I'm going to quote just a portion of it. He said, how did y'all disappear when I started trying to read it?
Somebody posted, Samantha, she posted the interview. Somebody said, yeah, I appreciate y'all. Yeah, it sounded crazy as hell to me.
Yeah, so this is what he said for those who may not be familiar. He said, I married a woman 2 sizes too big. I had to grow into Aventure. She's a coat. I still can't fit her. She's bigger than me, and she's had to cover me while I grow up. I got to grow into her. She's a covering, not a lid. Because if a man marries a lid, she'll stop your dream. But if you marry a covering, she'll push you to your destiny. Let me tell you something. My wife has endured more pain birthing me than both of our children. She has sacrificed these last 8 years, uncovering the painful areas of my manhood and covering the areas that could have exposed me. I mean,
they make you want to run.
I do kind of want to run around a little bit. Do anybody? I mean, that thing right there was a little bit like powerful,
so in one respect,
so it's not black and white. So we need to understand.
So in some sense, no, it's not black and white. Right. But in some sense, women appreciate that, because it appears as though you're honoring and you're edifying a relationship with a woman.
You took me.
Yes, and so you want the validation, you want the acknowledgement, you want the appreciation, and that type of thing.
And it goes both ways.
But hold on, but so you applaud, you appreciate, you praise with one hand, but then with the other hand, you're making a serious request that you continue engaging and performing in the way that you have. And so, women have unfortunately carried a huge burden when it comes to Black love, when it comes to Black relationships.
This is very true.
They carry the weight, the brunt of, a lot of responsibility when it comes to pushing the family forward. And so it's unfair.
Very much tied to
it's unfair for me to say thank you.
Dynamics out of slavery and stuff like that. We can go
thank you, but then keep on doing it. The expectation is that you keep on doing it. And so again, what's his role? Mm-hmm. So ladies, it's not your responsibility to raise a man, to birth a man. It is your responsibility to help encourage and nurture, not in that type of way, but nurture his dreams and that type of thing. But again, you don't want to find yourself in a situation where there's this power dynamic or imbalance that's at play, where you constantly are deferring, where you're constantly trying to accommodate, trying to cover, trying to meet his needs, and then you lose yourself in that process.
Right.
That's not what relationships are about.
But here's the other thing that I want to add to that. So I really appreciate that my husband, he really took issue and was like, what? I really appreciate that, because oftentimes, and in this case, a lot of women were kind of coming to John Gray's defense because there was a lot of backlash. I'm into both of their defense, him and his wife. But I do want to lift up, as we give a balanced perspective, that, I had your back. Somebody said, women, I think Carla said, husbands cover wives, not the other way around. So however you look at it, whatever word you want to use, I stood in the gap for you, right? You stood in the gap for me. We tell our story about the lack of provision, the consistency in the income and all that. I could have been out, I could have dipped, right? And a part of that was your ability to mature into understanding your role, really understanding it's not just your perspective, taking my perspective into consideration, right? So I did whatever you want to say. I covered you. I covered the family. I stood in the gap. I had your back. It does happen, and it is supposed to happen. Oh yeah, I'm not going against what you're saying. I'm not going against what you're saying. You covered me. You stood in the gap for me as I learned and figured out who I was. And early on in our marriage, especially in the early years, those first few years, and then the dating space, I wasn't really, I wasn't centered and really clear about who I was. And we had some, infidelity early on. We had different things before marriage. So all of that stuff were places where we were challenged to make sure that we covered one another. So I don't give you want to say cover, like it's going to go down, it's going to happen. But particularly, I think in the African-American community, right, we have to pay attention to some of the dynamics that are unique to us as a people, and how, again, that's a whole nother live stream for a whole nother day, how as a people, there has been an unbalanced dynamic that has been built in our communities in terms of women carrying the brunt, carrying the load. And that comes out of really quickly going into slavery, how women were pushed to the forefront because Black men were threatening, right? We know about that. And so, the young boy had to kind of get back, and the mommy had to take over. And even with the daddy, like just to make sure everybody stays safe, right? And so then over the years, that has kept the power dynamic in our relationships out of whack, right? And so when we hear that, to give birth to, we're like, wait a minute, no, because the Black man has to get back in his rightful position, and the Black woman has to get back in her rightful position. Not to say that one is superior to the other, right? But that we just need to get back in right position and understand the impact that, particularly being African Americans, having that history, that impact that it's had on our relationships. So, it's all of that, but I absolutely support and I'm down with what my husband is saying.
So birthing is one piece, but when I say that this relationship belief, ladies, that leads to relationship beef is the fact that, you think that it's your responsibility to birth a man. I mean, not to birth a man, but to raise a man. The reason why I say that leads to beef is because when you have the mindset that it's your responsibility to raise a man, then you're assuming a position of superiority in the relationship. And so it leads to beef because you've assumed a position of superiority, and now, so you're supposed to be dictating and telling me what my steps are, which way I'm supposed to go and how I'm supposed to flow. And so as a man, most men, they're going to resist that. They're going to resist the notion that you're controlling me. Like, I didn't get into a relationship to be controlled. And so again, if you have the mindset that I'm here or your man is here and he's supposed to be raised by you, he's supposed to be told what to do, you're supposed to be charting his path and guiding his steps, then no, he has his own sense of individuality, his own identity, and hopefully he has some idea of what direction he wants to go in. It's not your responsibility to inform his steps. Well, you can inform his steps, but it's not your responsibility to always give him his steps. He has to walk his own path and walk it with you.
Yeah. Well. All right. So that's number one. We got stuck on that for a second, but I think it was an important one. So I'm glad you said that, because that was good. It was very good. Look, here's number two. If you're just joining us tonight, we're talking about some false relationship beliefs, some beliefs that will get you messed up, that will lead to relationship beef. It will keep you in a place of stagnation in your relationship. And you'll wonder why y'all keep bumping heads, because your beliefs, not what you say, because you might say the right thing, but your beliefs underneath really take you down the wrong place. So we just talked talked about the fact that for women, it's not your job to birth your man, right? So you might say that, you might be all about that, but your mama kind of supported your father in a way that was imbalanced, in which she was always carrying the load, and or whoever, you know, your mother's partner was, perhaps, whatever your situation is, and your aunties did that, and your cousin. So really, you saying that, but that's not what you expect, and so you will attract someone who you do in some way feel obligated to carry, right, and to give birth to, right? So we have to pay attention to our beliefs. And
if you haven't shared this video, please go ahead and share, y'all. Please share.
Number 2, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Like, are you ride or die? Are you with me? Are you down? What? You know, I come with all of this. I come with these kids. I come with, you know, some of my brokenness, my pain. I'm a real person. This is real life. If you want me to be in a pretty package and not come with the realness, then, you know, you can't handle me, because you got to be, what do we say? Well, what do the vows tell us? The vows tell us in sickness and in health, right? You know, for better or for worse. But let me clarify some things. If your belief is that your partner should take anything you give it, anything you dish out, anything you serve, and they're supposed to eat that, let me tell you something. You will be forever wondering why you don't have the connection that you really want to have, why y'all don't have the level of vulnerability and the closeness that you're trying to have, because you're serving out indiscriminately. You don't keep anything for yourself. You don't determine what needs to go in a journal, what needs to go in your sister circle, what needs to be taken into prayer, who you need to talk to about certain things. I need to take this one to a counselor. I need to find a therapist, right? I need to give this one to my girl. You're giving him everything. And so whatever you're serving up is what he's supposed to take, or whatever you're serving up is what she's supposed to take. Let me tell you something. Thinking that your partner and having the belief that, you know, it's like, this is that fairy tale shit, y'all. Like, this is that I'm looking at on TV, and like, you know, he left her and then he came back and he had, you know, 2 babies, and she raised the babies that was, you know, birthed by another woman, and then he left her again, and he came back and accidentally rolled over her with the truck, and then she was still there. I'm making up stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? Like whatever I'm giving, like, if you really love me, you will take it. So let me correct that. I can love you beyond, but I cannot give you what I do not have. In order for me to give you the best of me, I got to first be willing to give myself the best of me. So any proper partner will make sure they prioritize themselves. They'll make sure that they understand that I've got to demonstrate love for myself. They'll have these quiet moments when they're talking with themselves and with their cherished friends who they can trust, right? And they'll say, wait a minute, I can't, you know, like, how Iana, let me talk to self. Like, how are you justifying this behavior? Like, well, how is it that I can say that this is okay? What am I doing to get my own back? Oh man, but I love him. But girl, you got to love yourself more. And the moment you are willing to demonstrate that you love yourself the way that you need to love yourself, and that you will give to yourself, right, in the way that you need to give to yourself, the moment you do that, your partner either will get in alignment, because he or she will recognize that, oh, they're not going for that. She honors herself. She has boundaries. She has some sense of what's okay and what's not okay. And they will then get in alignment, because you start to bring out in them, right, by your reflection, what is appropriate and what is the requirement to be in relationship with you. Ride or die is cute. Ride or die makes you feel so good. You know what I'm saying? I love it when I see the movies. I'm like, oh, they just got that connection, and she just, you know, was there for him, and he was there for her. It's good, because we ride or die. But understand, a part of why we are able to be ride or die is because I have boundaries and I have expectations. A part of why we are able to be ride or die is because this man says, wait a minute, that's not okay. I'm not all right with that. We need to come back to the table and discuss that. And we respect the fact that each of us have boundaries. Yeah. Right. And that there's certain things that we're not going for, you know, and we had to work through that stuff early on in our relationship. Like, this right here, we're going to have to conquer this now as a young couple, because I'm not going forward with this. Right. I'm not doing this, you know, at 34, 44 and so forth. Right. I'm not doing that. So understand that is a false belief to think that your partner is supposed to be willing to handle you with whatever you give at your worst. You know, and if they don't, then they're not really the one. Please correct that false belief. Okay. All right. That's number 2. All right, y'all. Share the video, please.
Please share.
I want to get some comments because y'all are putting it in tonight. So Patrice, I see your comment, my sister. Patrice says, how many times do you keep taking it? When you have done all you can, a woman should not have to carry the load. We are the backbones. When a woman starts carrying the load, separation has to be in the midst. What's your thought on that? How long? Oh, no, I'm sorry. How many times? How many times do you keep taking it? That's one of those questions that doesn't have an exact answer, right?
Yeah, but I think that the most direct answer is going to be a circuitous one, but it's
going to be a what?
Circuitous.
A circuitous answer?
Yeah.
I like when you say words like that. That might be common to y'all, but that's not a common word for me. So I think it's sexy when he says things like circuitous, or he tells me things like, that's very apropos. I like that word. You introduced me to that word.
Make your panties wet.
Boo. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Woo, okay, move on.
All right, so
what are you saying?
So now, but what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so the way that I would respond to that is it's not a number of times. What it is a process. What has your process been? So have you explored all options? I mean, have you spoken with somebody individually about the process or about your experience in terms of, engaging a therapist? Do you have a relationship coach, an individual coach? Because they can help you process your experience and make a plan in terms of what are the next steps. And so I wouldn't say like it's 10 times and then you separate, or 20 times and then you bounce. My question is, what are you doing from time 1 to time number 2? And then from time number 2 to time number 5? What has your process been? How have you shifted in a relationship to potentially bring about a change in the relationship dynamic?
Especially around accountability.
Yeah. And so again, what's the process been looking like? Mm-hmm. All right. So number 3, I don't like that one.
You need to do it, because if you don't like it, just because we are doesn't mean that everybody has that, or that should be the case for everybody. I mean, hello.
Yeah. I wanted to go somewhere else though.
Do you already have you? So you don't want that one?
I don't want that one. You could touch on that one. But the one
I'll
that
tell
I want,
what that one is when I do it.
The relationship belief, or the belief that leads to relationship beef, that I want to lift up is again specifically for the women. This belief that being a Proverbs 31 woman means that you can't have a healthy sex life is faulty, problematic, and definitely leads to relationship beef. Mm-hmm. If you have a belief system that says that a virtuous wife or woman can't be freaky, it's going to lead to relationship beef on a number of occasions. I think that, yes, the Bible is an excellent resource, an excellent book to live your life by. But it's important that you recognize, too, that the Bible is subject to interpretation. And a part of that piece is recognizing that when it comes to your individual relationship, you got to see how that thing applies. And I think that a lot of times women have a belief, have a mindset that, being a wife, now that I've become a wife, I can't do some of the things that I may have used to do, or I can't have some of the thoughts that I might have because they're impure. No. It leads to relationship beef because a man is expecting to engage you in a certain way. A lot of men have a healthy sexual appetite. A lot of men are curious, have fantasies, and a lot of women do as well. But you want to make sure that when you become a wife, that you're not, that you're not, allowing that experience to define, to oppress, and have you suppress your sexual desires. Because if you believe that the Bible, if you believe that any religious or spiritual book that you abide by is one that's of confinement, then no, that's a faulty understanding of what the text is talking about. Any spiritual text is talking about liberation. And some of the greatest liberation that you can have is through the experience of sex. Mm-hmm. And so if you find yourself in an oppressive situation based off of your biblical beliefs, based off of your religious or spiritual beliefs, then you aren't really understanding the word the way you need to be understanding it. Mm-hmm. And so again, if you have a belief system that says that you need to live a certain way with your spouse, put that thing under lock and key, then nah, that's going to be problematic and lead to beefs all night long.
All night long?
All day long. All day long. We want freedom.
Yeah. Freedom to be, and to connect.
Yes, freedom
sexually.
to connect.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that's right. That's a good one. I didn't know you was going to put
sex
that out
is
there.
the closest thing you can get. The closest that you can get to the Creator through the experience of uniting masculine and feminine energies.
Yeah.
Through that bond, through that blend.
You set that up real good, bro.
Through that synchronicity. I'm just saying, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. All right, that was number 3, y'all. Let's recap. But number 1 was what?
It's not your responsibility to raise
or birth your man.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 was, I don't remember. That's what I'm saying. Number 2, and I'm waiting for you to say.
It was right here, so you need to find it.
What was number 2, y'all? Number 2 was, I don't remember. We'll come back to it.
Really, Joe?
I got off the document.
And then number 3 was if you believe that it's your responsibility to be a Proverbs 31 woman or a virtuous wife, then that doesn't mean that you can't experience sexual liberation in your relationship.
Mm-hmm. There we go. All right, somebody gonna tell us what number 2 was. You know that don't make no sense. Tell us what number 2 was.
I mean, which one of the first 3 do y'all resonate with the most?
We just move on.
That's what I'm curious to know. Which one of the first 3 do you resonate with the most? And do you agree or do you disagree? I mean, we're always open to.
I'm gonna say which one of the first 3, and we'll remember number 2.
That's your. You gave number 2. I came ready.
Because we did a lot of talking. Charlisha, my sister, thank you. Number 2, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. That's right. Okay, that's a false belief. We don't want to believe.
Daryl said the
like
bed,
that.
1 and 2. Nita said 1 and 2.
Okay. All right. Okay, guys. So
let me hit this comment right here. Brian, bro, he said, real talk. A lot of men put lust off on their wives. I was one of them. The love making is not lust. A lot of us get those lines crossed.
Mm-hmm. That's good, Brian. What's up, Brian? Yeah.
He said, I like them all.
You like them all. All right. So let's move on to number 4. We talked about this before. You've heard it before. I think that people, for the most part, I think everybody's pretty agreeable to this and will say, oh, yeah. But I think that we oftentimes want more and our beliefs tell us something differently. And so number 4 is this false belief that your boo should be your best friend. That this is the person who you should be able to share the most intimate of thoughts with, and they should be able to respond to you and to attend to you and connect with you on that thing, just like, a best friend should. Like the one we see in the movies, like, me and you, us never part. What's that from? Color Purple. Yeah. Right? Like, that's not real life. So your partner, your boo, your husband, your wife has a special place in your life, and they occupy a space that no other human being can occupy. That's for sure. But we need to understand that there are some things that I am particularly sensitive. I'm giving an example. There's some things I'm particularly sensitive about, that I have a passion for. There's some places inside of me that my sister friend understands and gets, right? That he just can't get. He gets it from an intellectual place, or he can see what I'm coming with because I got tears in the corner of my eyes and I'm talking to him about something. And he's like, wow. But if he was to really be honest with me in that moment, he's like, that's just pretty amazing to me that it gets you that emotional. Why don't you just you know what I'm saying? Leave that thing alone, right? And I'm like, you don't understand, right? So my point is that your partner does not need to be your best friend. There are many couples who say, my man is my best friend. My girl is my best friend. My wife is my best friend, right? Plenty of partners who say that. I think that a lot of folks who say that actually is not really true. It's just a cute thing to say. And I think there are folks who are blessed to have that connection, because when your boo is your best friend, as well as your lover and your partner and your spiritual partner and confidant, all of those kinds of things, that's fabulous. But for real, it's no skin off your back. It's not taking anything from you if your partner is not your best friend, because they serve a particular kind of position that no one else can serve, and so they have their own space. Let me drop it to you like this. For those who have children, particularly young children, sometimes they'll compare, or they may say well, do you love daddy more than you love me?
Or which one of us do you love the most?
Which one of us do you love? Right? when you have multiple kids, right? There's no comparison, right? There's no comparison. Like, this is my husband, right, sweetheart, and you are my child. I gave birth to you, and this is my man. Yeah. So, but there's no love lost for either, right? So remember that's a false belief. Why does it lead to beef? It leads to beef because then when we take that belief into our relationships, into our marriage, and we think that our partner is not connecting with us in the way that we had envisioned, the way that we see on TV, right? Maybe even the way you might see Ayiza and Iyanna do, right? Like, then we're missing something. We don't have something. There's something that they're not giving us. We're not satisfied, right? Because maybe you don't just not have a best friend in him or her. Maybe you don't have a best friend at all. Maybe you ain't got no friends because maybe you need to learn how to be a friend. Maybe that's a deeper issue and it ain't got nothing to do with that. My point is, you don't need to get that from your boo. That's not a necessity. And when you think that that's what you're supposed to have and you have that belief, you will set yourself up for all kinds of drama and all kinds of conflict. It's not necessary. You don't have to try to get it from them. You really don't. So release yourself from that if that's a false belief you have, and that's something that you lift up as kind of a measurement for your relationship.
So who are you speaking to when you're lifting this point up? Like,
what?
No, I'm asking a question.
Everybody on this joint.
Yeah, you are, but I think that you're referencing. I mean, of course, you reference our relationship and how we are best friends and that type of thing. But aside from that, when you think about this particular point, who do you feel like this particular point is more so geared toward?
You know how you tell me sometimes.
I'm not asking you a leading question.
Yeah, sometimes you tell me I'm asking him leading questions.
I'm not asking you
like, just get to the point and stop trying to set me up. That's what you're doing right now.
I'm not asking a leading question. I'm really just curious to know.
I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not talking to a certain gender, or is that where you're going with it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really not, because I don't think women do that more or men do that more. I think it's based on
do y'all think?
Personality.
What do y'all think?
And I think if y'all say women do that more, I think that's stereotypical.
Do y'all think that men do this more than women, or do you think that women do this more?
What do you think? Because I think you did have a thought about it. What you think? Like, for real?
When I think about this point right here, the gender doesn't come up for me, but what does come up for me is a lack of trust. A lack of trust, and the reason why I'm saying a lack of trust is because oftentimes we want to hold on and squeeze the relationship so tightly that we it's because it's coming from a place of, if I'm not all up in your business. All up knowing what it is that you're doing all day and all night, then it leaves the relationship vulnerable. I feel some sense of inadequacy, not knowing all about what you got going on. And so again, there's a lack of trust that's present when you won't allow your partner or embrace the experience of your partner having a relationship with somebody else. And so, I'm just curious to know, like, do y'all think that it's men?
Well, we got some answers. Jocelyn says she thinks it's based on personality. Daryl says women to men.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Zarina, did I say that right, says, wow, I thought your spouse was supposed to be there for you to communicate to. Fine 29 clarifies. She says, is that by choice? Is what by choice? And then Bar Kelvin says, my queen is my BFF by default. I don't have any other friends. There's lots of different, I think, opinions on this. Shannon says she thinks women do this more. Cherish says, my husband does this all the time. It drives me crazy. She says it's exhausting. So I think the point that you bring up in terms of insecurities and lack of trust, and sometimes that can come in, like in terms of how we feel about ourselves.
Yeah,
a lot of times it don't have anything to do with the partner. It has to do with our own sense of security within, and then we project that onto the partner, like, well, what are you doing? Or blah blah blah. But there's appropriateness around monitoring who you friends with, whatever, and male female dynamics, or if you're in a same gender relationship, those same gender dynamics, whatever, all that's appropriate. But what we're talking about here, the point I'm making is that that's not an automatic. Everybody's boo is not your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And again, to make that comparison around children and around what, like, there's no comparison. There's just a different kind of relationship.
And if you find yourself in a space where you feel like that's necessary or it needs to be that way, then what I would encourage you to do is to really examine self. Because I would say that it really emanates from a low sense of self if you don't feel comfortable with your spouse having friends outside of your relationship. The world is bigger than you. Mm-hmm. It really is. The world is bigger than you. And I can speak from personal experience of allowing my relationship especially early on, to define me and how I viewed myself.
Oh, you never said that before.
Yeah, I haven't. So,
you ain't said that to me before.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm listening.
No, I mean, basically, well, first it starts off in terms of, just how you see yourself. You take the superficial approach and you start to, deal with appearance. And so, I was sized when I booked my wife. If you're from the, I don't know if booked is a national word or if it's just a
how old we are.
When I booked my wife back in the day, who was my girlfriend back then, but when I booked her, I was sized. I was like, I got me a dime piece.
Did you book me?
It was kind of sort of like that. I was like, I got me a dime piece. And so I allowed her appearance, her beauty, her looks to make me feel some sort of way about myself. And I don't think that it's abnormal. I don't think that it's unnatural to say, look at what I got here. I wanted to brag, and I still brag. I'm like, look at my baby. And so, it gave me some sense of esteem. But again, that's on the superficial level in terms of just like the physical. And then when we start to get into the intellect and the spiritual understanding, the emotional connection and that type of thing, it's important that you embrace and you appreciate those aspects of the relationship. But it's also important, or equally important, to know that, the world is bigger than your woman. The world is bigger than your man. And, the nourishment that you get from relationships doesn't just stop with your spouse. It's other people that can give you so much in addition to what your spouse gives you, not physically or sexually, anything like that, but just a deeper understanding of what the world around you is like and what it looks like and what it feels like and that type of thing. So again, it's important to know that if you find yourself boxed in and that, all that you know is your spouse, what I would say is that start developing you. Start developing you. Because you got to have other interests outside of your spouse.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Respect. Mm-hmm. My baby. Mm-hmm. So what number is this? Number 5.
Number 5. Mm-hmm.
Well, getting excited. So if you're just joining us today, we're talking about
Tiana said you got beautiful eyebrows.
Beliefs. Who are you talking to?
Talking to you.
Oh, thank you, Tiana. False beliefs that will lead to beef in your relationship. That's what we're talking about tonight. We hope that you share this video, drop a comment, put it on your page, let somebody know. Join us on Thursday nights on Facebook and on YouTube for Relationship Thursdays. Please like the video.
And please share.
Like it, love it, something like that. So here's number 5, y'all. This false belief is one that I think many women, this is a gender specific situation, but actually for real, dudes can be in this way too. Y'all can be of this thinking. So let's just open it up. It's not going to do, I'm talking from a woman's perspective, but this could be for women or for men. Believing that all men are dogs, that women are real sneaky, that they really trying to control you and they be out here doing their dirt. That, these dudes out here, like, they just for real, including your man, including your husband, like they can't help it because they're engineered that way, because they're wired that way, because, they got that testosterone and they need to get it wet, right? Like they got to do some things to feed that part of themselves. And so that just is a part of being in a relationship with the man. Like women are cunning and sneaky, and they always, like if you have that belief, you can find the one, you can believe that you have the one, but you in your mind, in your unconscious, like I have the one and she's liable to play games. I got the one and she's tricky. She's, because that's what women do. I mean, hey, that's what they do, right? She's the one for me, but she's clever, and if she can get away with something, she will. Mm-hmm. That's that false belief. For the men, you know what?
What makes it false?
This is my man. This is my husband. This is the one I love for life. We got this special connection, but he's liable to get out here and slip and fall in somebody else's vagina. That might happen because he's a man, and so men are just built that way. Those kinds of beliefs lead to beef, because then that sets you up to always, whether you realize it or not, whether it's conscious or not, to be looking for the slip up, to be very clear that it's coming. You don't even fully let your guard down and let that person in, because you're doing it the best that you can do, but you could give him so much more, but you just can't because he's a man, and you know how men do, right? You can't really give it to her all the way because she's a woman, and you know how they do, right? So that's a false belief. If you have that belief, it will always lead to beef because you will find stuff that ain't there. You will smell shit that ain't stinking, and you will create drama that should not be there in the first place. Y'all be arguing about stuff and they be like, what are you talking about? How many of y'all had those type of conversations? Because you're bringing that false belief in. And so, oh yes, Tanisha just said it. Tanisha says self-sabotaging. That's a version of self-sabotage. That's correct, of messing up your relationship before it can even get started. And that's for y'all who are married too, right? You in year 1, 2, 3, and you still having these issues because you are carrying the belief that, I mean, I know how y'all do, so don't, I'm not new to the game. Don't bring it to me like I'm not new to the game. But you have to really challenge and shift that belief. You have to shift that belief, and you have to understand that for every man out there who's a dog, and for every woman out there who's clever and conniving, there's also a man who is upstanding, who is about his business, is able and willing to hold you down. For every woman out there who is doing her thing, there's also a woman out there who is ready to be the queen that she is, with or without you, and she wants to attract you. That's not all that's in the world. That's a false belief. And oftentimes, if you look at your environment, if you look at who you hang with, who you hung with, who did you have to model for you as a young person, as you see Uncle so and so and Auntie so and so, like that's all being informed by experiences that tell you that this is really the reality. And I want you to know that you attract what you believe. You see, that's the fundamental philosophy we want you to have tonight, that everything you believe, you bring to you. You bring it to you. So every belief that we talked about tonight, and there are 1,000 more, if you are struggling in a particular area of your relationship, you got to ask yourself, so like, what am I bringing into the relationship based on my unconscious beliefs that attract that kind of energy, that kind of drama, that kind of mess, that kind of separation, the kind of lack of trust, the lack of vulnerability, the anger, the arguing? What kind of beliefs do I have that brings that into the relationship and brings it into the room with you and your partner before you even open up your mouth? You walk into the room and it's already there because your beliefs set the foundation for how you flow. My husband said it early on. Your beliefs set the foundation for how you flow. You have to challenge beliefs. They didn't get built up overnight, right? So they will not be dismantled overnight. But you have to be clear about what they are, own that thing. And you can say, all right, maybe all men aren't dogs and they ain't all trying to get some, and they aren't all, kind of predisposed to cheating, right? Maybe that's true. I don't even know if I fully believe it, but I'm gonna go ahead and take a stab at it and start saying something different. Start giving myself a different mantra to live by, and start leaning in that direction, because the only way you dismantle false beliefs is by countering it with a truth that will sustain you and that will get you out of that unright thinking.
Powerful, baby. Powerful, definitely.
I'll look at you like.
I mean, the thing that I want to add.
This is real, right?
It really is real. And so early on, as you were speaking, before you went on your soliloquy, the thing that popped in my head was it's so hard. It's so hard because we're informed by our environment, our surroundings, our experiences. And so there's women on this live stream right now who've been cheated on. There's women on this live stream right now who have seen their fathers cheat on their mom. There's men on this live stream right now who have experienced their woman cheating on them, and who have seen their mom or their father cheating on their spouse. Yeah. And so again, we witness these experiences, and in doing so, it informs us and is shaping our belief systems. And so it's really interesting because in our belief systems being shaped, what we're challenging people to do is to shake that thing up. Yeah. And to expose themselves to a different reality and embrace an alternative experience that suggests that it don't got to be that way. That all men aren't dogs, all women aren't conniving. That's right. And that people are really seeking to experience true, genuine connection and lifelong, deep, abiding relationships. Yes. That's what people want. And so if you were to push past the discomfort, the fear, the insecurities, the inadequacies, the uncertainties, and really embrace vulnerability, it gives you the opportunity to experience the love that you want, which leads me to another belief that I think that we all need to internalize. And somebody lifted it up in their comments. The belief that I want y'all to embrace as we wrap this thing up is that if he cheats on me, if she cheats on me, it means that they don't love me. It's an erroneous belief that you adopt when you operate from that perspective, because just because an act of infidelity occurs in a relationship, it's not an indicator of the depth of somebody's love.
That's right.
People jack their relationships up, mess up all the time based off of their own stuff. It ain't got nothing to do with you. And so I don't want you to think that what your spouse does is a reflection of what you are or not doing. What I want you to do is to be the best that you can be and show up in the right way and show up righteously in your relationship, and try to elevate the relationship as it needs to be elevated. And so again, what he or she does isn't based off of what you do or don't do. Be you and do the best that you can do in a relationship. That's what's really important. Again, he can cheat on you, not to say he should, or she can cheat on you, not to say that she should, and still love you. But it's important. You done opened up a whole nother topic right there. They like. But it's important that you love yourself and that you demand more and you demand better.
Yes.
Don't just settle for that. Demand more and demand better.
Yes. All right, y'all. We talked about it. It's not too late for you to share it. It's not too late for you to put it out. Make sure that whatever stood out to you, whatever you said, oh, damn, I think they're talking about me, that you do more than just come and listen to it, that you take that into your week, into the days to come, and you execute on it. That means you need to pay attention to your beliefs, and dismantle that false belief system. Make sure that you really focus in on one thing at a time. What can I do to be the best that I know I can be for myself first, and then my relationship will automatically benefit. But you can't do any of that stuff if you don't stop playing
and start pushing, y'all.
Yes. Bye, y'all.
Peace.